We also projected 4 weeks to terminate the military leadership, and as you know, that was done in about an hour, so we're ahead of schedule there by a lot.
Coordinated strikes over the weekend wiping out much of Iran's senior leadership. 49 regime officials killed in the initial strikes on Saturday. Israel had a good look at the group all together, and they said, let's do it. All together in one compound. In addition to the supreme leader, the Ayatollah, regime officials, including head of the military bureau, head of the intelligence, chief of staff of the armed forces, the IRGC commander, head of the Security Council, and the defense minister of Iran, all eliminated in the same bombing, in the same building. That's impressive. U.S. Central Command also announcing all 11 of the Iranian ships in the Gulf of Oman have been destroyed. Kaboom. It goes right there on the screen. With over 1,200 targets hit on the first 48 hours of the war and no clear leadership in sight, the question becomes, what is next for Iran? We've got Rob O'Neill, former U.S. Navy SEAL, joining us now. Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. Good to have you both here. Rob, you've got extensive combat experience. Can you grade what we've seen over the last 3 days and just how quickly the job of just neutralizing Iran could go?
Well, if there's a grade higher than an A+, that's what they would get. This is the United States for the first time in a very, very long time proving what we're capable of when we want to. This is a fight now to just completely take them out. There's going to be a regime change, but not boots on the ground. This is a completely different environment. We're fighting now with people in charge who are serious about how the world is working. We're going to smack him really hard. And I mean, he took out the entire headship of Iran. You got to be impressed. President Trump is basically creating jobs everywhere. They got a big spots to fill out there. They got to find out what the regime's going to do. Hopefully there's a little bit of infrastructure in place. But this is a big move because it's, again, a worldwide move, just like Venezuela. This isn't about, I mean, it's about oil, but not our oil. This is taking away a lot of power from China, taking away a lot of their oil. You can't avoid Taiwan without oil and power. It's taking away drones that they make in Iran for Russia as well as their oil. So it worked, pretty much a long weekend for the United States. And now, surprisingly, watch, Russia's going to want to talk. That's what they did. Pretty cool.
That's a great summation. Dr. Jasser, are you confident in Iran's ability to build a stable government if this one does, in fact, finally fall?
Well, I think, what I'm confident of is the fact that we had a massive cancer that was spreading throughout the Middle East over the last 47 years that has been killing our soldiers, killing our citizens, has been attacking through terror groups and proxies. So the patient is better off with the cancer excised and removed. What's going to happen to the patient afterwards? There's three options in Iran. Either the revolution takes over and there's going to be some disorganization, et cetera, that might happen, and the disarmament and removal of ordinances, et cetera, because the people are unarmed. The other option that could happen, God forbid, is the regime stays in place but very weakened. Remember, their economy is completely broken, so they don't have money to pay their generals, et cetera. The third option is just complete disarray with terror groups and other chaos within Iran. So I'm hoping they can take over their government. If anything has shown us history, the arc of the defeat of political Islam now has told 85% of the population in Iran they will not buy back a revolution of Islamists, and they're celebrating with Israel, with America, the defeat of the Islamist clerics. So this is a millennial shift in the Islamic history of only 1,400 years, and that shift is why the Saudis initially didn't want to support the war, but then they were forced into it by the Shia attack upon them. Why didn't the Saudis support it? Because a victory against political Islam, theocratic Islam, also doesn't bode well for the Saudis and other theocrats across the Middle East.
Rob, I think there's a lot of people that I know that are wondering what we're doing in Iran. I think it's a great question. I think it deserves scrutiny to be asked why we did this, why we did it now, from this president especially. The concern, my concern is that it does turn into some kind of a political liability, even though this is a much better culture than places like Afghanistan. These, a much more, these people have a common thread. They have a history. It's not a bunch of different tribes. Do you feel confident that this can be a good story once this regime falls, that we can walk away?
And the issue right now, too, is it's going to take a couple of days, I mean, for lack of a better term, for the dust to settle. I was just talking to an Iranian Special Forces guy in Europe 2 days ago. He's getting the word on the ground. Yeah, this is going to work and it's going to be fine, but we got to it's going to get political no matter what. I think it was this fast. I'm sorry to say it because the midterms are coming up. We got to hit them now and see a little bit of progress somewhere before the midterms because we know how politics gets. But just listening to Dr. Jasser just now, he's the guy you want to listen to. He's the expert in this area, too, and he understands the political Islam and also how we're we're going to need to move forward and live together. But having Iran, especially the Persians and the Iranians coming together to the table, this is a big shift for the entire world. I think we're in a great reset right now.
Dr. Jasser, just finishing thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, I have to tell you, I think ultimately, if you are America first and you're for the end of forever wars, this is the short investment. We're not putting boots on the ground, and it will allow a millennial shift in what's happening on the ground. Will it be disorganized? It's certainly, if you're looking at what party to vote for, it's certainly different than sending $6 billion to the clerics that then fed October 7th, fed a genocide against Israel, and continued to attack our troops, our ships, etc. So the choice is clear on what impact this could have on the midterms, and that's why I'm running for Congress.
I'm optimistic that if you get rid of Iran, if you get rid of this tumor, that we won't need such presence in the Middle East, and that this could be a much more peaceful place. It could be wonderful for, if you want to think that way in America first, if you want to bring these boys home and not need all that this is the start of potentially a much brighter future for that part of the world and for us as well. Good to have you both on, Rob O'Neill and Dr. Jasser. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks.